right, whoever's out there, this is Pipeline Audio. Welcome to Evidence-Based Audio number 165. And it's still USB. First thing, there's a thing over at Safe Space about SSL putting a de-esser out. I don't think it's the one that's in the native essentials. I don't know if it's really in the wild yet, but it's weird to think about. You know, a lot of people don't want to work on utility type plugins and things, but it's nice to have them. And they don't. I know there's a lot of fan favorites out there, but some of the more basic utilities weren't really being made so much. And you know, to see SSL tackle this is kind of cool. And of course, this is going to be much different than you could have done back in the real world. So it's probably cool. Of course, you know, we offer a certain product, Dynamic EQ, that should take care of most of this for you. But, you know, it's nice seeing those three letters on a plugin, though, right? That's SSL. $79 until May 5th. What is that, tomorrow? Usually $119. Or, looks like SSL has a subscription too. It says the ever-growing SSL complete bundle, which now 19 premium solid-state logic plugins for only $14.99 per month. And as bad as that sounds, if you're making thousands of dollars mixing a month and it costs you $14 for the plugins you want to use, you know, a subscription may not be that bad. I never know if I'm going to have another dollar tomorrow, so I'd rather not get on the subscription bus. But it looks cool. Give it a try. I'll grab the demo. Hopefully next week I'll have something to say about it. And then I saw this one, and I don't know. This is, I've seen a bunch of stuff on Facebook, and I just didn't understand what was going on, so I went and took it here. I guess there's like some coupon codes or something for these subscriptions. And is it true, like, it became a Pro Tools is all subscription now? I know we have a subscription for testing stuff. Let's see. 3 subscription-only offerings starting at $9.99 a month. Some kind of weird, like, crippleware looking stuff on here. Like, I'll go to this chart, and if I can zoom in on here, sorry. There's like it's limited to a certain number of tracks based on which tier you pay for. How many auxes you got. Video tracks. Native I/O. I don't know. What is Digilink? So there's one called Pro Tools Flex, which I guess is going to be the new Pro Tools Ultimate. Is that true? Yeah, so you're basically, I guess, you know, kind of like these item mall in-app purchases in games or whatever. You're going to pay to unlock different parts. Ooh, starting to look like Reaper, huh? You get all those colors. Watch it. Probably already did that for 30 years, and I didn't even know. But it's watching everybody scream about how much this stuff costs, and again, you know, even this, the Pro Tools Flex, $100 a month. $100 a month if you're, I mean, if you're making piles off this stuff, it's not bad. You know, it's not the DAW that I want to use, but and be realistic. And then so I saw this on Safe Space too. Tune Track announces Easy Drummer. If you don't know what this is pretty much like that. There were so many people that really just made albums with Easy Drummer, and as much as people want to say, oh, that's so fake, whatever, a lot of stuff, it didn't matter what genre, you know, for the genre it is in. There were some people couldn't tell anyway. There's some really cool videos of guys out there fooling fans and experts with Easy Drummer and versus live kits and stuff. So this is the third version of this. It was like I think it was like a drag and drop groove kind of thing back in the day. I'm trying to remember the very first version. I just remember people programming stuff into it. That's how I remember it. But it sounded really good. I think they had a thing called Drum Kit from Hell or something. There's some heavy stuff. Let's see what's new about this. A fully resizable interface, onboard grid editor. Onboard grid editor. Did they have that before? I think Superior has that, right? New groundbreaking bandmate. Tap to find. New sounds. New MIDI library. Mix ready presets. I don't know. I would assume this is going to be really cool. So if I was out there looking for a drum sampler and I wasn't going to do Superior, I would go take a look at this. It's funny. It's right when I was going to start this show up, Tommy Gibbons, former guest on the show, he was doing a thing on Easy Drummer 3. And Sweetwater had a thing yesterday, which is why surely he's popping up on my radar. And so it looks like $180 for the normal price, $100 for an upgrade from previous version. And Sweetwater has some videos up. Let's see what this bandmate thing is about.
New in Easy Drummer 3 is the addition of the Bandmate tab. Bandmate is designed to be an automated starting point for writing custom grooves to your guitar, bass, keys, or other melodic tracks. Just drag in audio or a MIDI file, and Easy Drummer 3 will create a fully customizable matching drum groove. Easy Drummer 3 will then analyze your file to estimate the tempo, or you can type in a custom tempo and select the time signature. You'll then be provided with a selection of matching grooves to choose from.
No way. I gotta try this out. This looks really cool.
This example uses a bass recording, but it works just as well with guitar. Here I'll use a distorted metal guitar, and I'll switch the genre to metal. Due to the increased transients, it's beneficial to use direct input guitar tracks rather than heavily...
That's cool. And the grid editor says you won't even need to look at the grid editor, but the groove editor is still there if you want to use it. Let's see, why are they saying that?
Easy Drummer 3 adds the fully featured grid editor that you've come to know and love from Superior Drummer 3 and Easy Bass. However, there's some important songwriting refinements that make it easier than ever to compose grooves from scratch. First, a Humanize Engine has been created with the songwriter in mind. This engine uses information from the hundreds of thousands of grooves that TuneTrack has recorded with real drummers to build velocity and timing styles that can instantly be applied to your programmed grooves. Here I have a simple drum groove that I drew in manually with Humanize off. While the samples themselves sound good, the performance is static and lifeless because all of the velocities are the same and there's no micro timing. Now I'll simply select all notes and choose a Humanize style to bring this groove to life. The other velocity styles in the Humanize section work for grooves that are programmed in that style, including half-time, double-time, and blast beat. Here, I have a manually programmed half-time shuffle beat with a triplet feel.
That's really cool. Well, if I was the creative type and I was really writing and stuff, I think I would really love the way this Easy 3 is. Next here, I don't know if you've ever seen a YouTube channel, Composing Gloves. You have some good studio stuff on. And this one, he was showing oscilloscopes, like plug-in oscilloscopes or real oscilloscopes, whatever. And he kind of did a pretty detailed video on YouTube. Just look for Composing Gloves comparing oscilloscopes. And I'm still not super thrilled with what's out there, but it was neat getting to meet some of the ones that I didn't know about on here. I think did I have Signalizer before? There was one that ended up really liking. What was that called? See, I don't know how to scroll on this thing. Here we go. Yeah, I tried a bunch of these. What was the one? Where was it? Was it Ocular Scope? Yeah, one of these anyway was pretty cool. He actually put a real scope in there as well. But yeah, I'm still not 1,000% thrilled with what's out there. I think Signalizer was one of the better ones. I think actually he liked that one the best. Let's see, and which one is Signalizer? I might have it on Reaper right now. My thing is, I really need to be able to measure with this stuff, and it's not necessarily. See, the way it looks right there, it looks like you can measure. Oh, it's not multi-track aware. That was the other problem with that one. But anyway, so yeah, it's got a pretty good list of oscilloscopes you can go check out. And so finally, check out this. We're going to watch this RME video here. And like I always say, if, you know, and I'd like to be gear agnostic, you know that, but, you know, if you really don't want any problems, chances are you should go RME, and especially if you're using USB. I think they've really got, I mean, the regular USB to whatever. I still don't really understand the new formats too well, but you know what this is running through right now, and is a 32 in, 32 out, or actually 32 in, 34 out, RME Digiface USB, and that's just running over USB 2.0. And they do things that most would struggle, you know, through Thunderbolt or PCI even. You know, RME is awesome. But anyway, so this video is called Why You Don't Need Thunderbolt for Professional Audio. And we've had people on a couple times on the show to talk about Thunderbolt, and the promise was PCI on a wire, right? You're gonna put, it'd just be like plugging into a slot. If you guys, so some of you guys probably don't even know what these things are. So back in the day, your audio interface went inside this big box that was a computer. It wasn't this flat little laptop thing. It's this big box, and they had these little card slots that you would plug them into, and those were the best at the time. I think they're still probably the best. You're going just like a video card. You're going immediately into the motherboard and stuff. But theoretically, you know, you should be able to get to the end of a cable and do this stuff. I know there's like some sort of quantum limitation where, you know, too much heat, too much speed or whatever in certain cases. But in general, we should have been okay to put a wire coming out of the computer and plug it into something and have it just as good. You know, for a little while we had FireWire, and that looked like it was going to replace USB. And then, you know, but we're still, RME still on USB. They actually had a FireWire thing. I think they have Thunderbolt now, but with all that rambling, let's just watch some of this.
One of the most asked questions under each of our videos is why we still rely on USB 2.0 for certain audio interfaces in our product lineup. While the whole industry seems to slowly but steadily switch over to faster and supposedly more modern transmission protocols such as USB 3.0 or Thunderbolt, RME still implements USB 2.0 over 10 years after the introduction of the first professional multi-channel USB audio interface, the Fireface UC. But higher bandwidth automatically means lower latency and better CPU performance, right?
Well, that's what we thought about FireWire, right? And yeah, most of them, except for the RME ones, again, RME and Motu, the latency was insane. It was always going to be worse than PCI, but it seemed better than USB. Seemed like faster and everything, and yeah, it's weird. Back in the day, I got an RME FireWire, Fireface 800, and now years later, I'm using a USB 2.0 RME, and I'm doing more channels at lower latencies and with less performance problems. It's kind of crazy.
So why is RME still going down the USB 2.0 route? Numbers first. Surprisingly, audio data by itself isn't a very demanding nor resource-intensive data stream.
I think only RME can say that, right? It's probably not true. The fact that they're able to get it working, I don't know. It's kind of funny because I don't know if they're being modest there or if or what, but they're doing it, and most people certainly aren't. Most, like we say so many times on the show, right? Most of those USB interfaces out there are made by Vesicon or the Sycon.de, the drivers, and so they're going to be very similar. But Rme did their own. I'm not sure if anybody else does.
Transmit a digital 24-bit 44.1 kHz stereo audio file, you need a bandwidth of 2116 kilobits per second, or in other words, 2 Mbit. Only a tiny fraction of what Thunderbolt with 40 gigabytes per second is capable of. Even a stereo 24-bit 192 kHz file, which is the highest resolution of the PCM format, needs only 9216 kilobits per second, around 9 Mbits. Calculating these numbers is very easy. The formula is sample rate times bit depth times number of channels.
So if you ever get into one of these forum arguments, there you go for your bandwidth, your theoretical basic bandwidth requirement here.
USB 2.0 has a bandwidth of 480 Mbits per second, or 480 million bits per second. In theory, this would give us a maximum channel count of 240 stereo channels at 44.1 kHz and around 53 stereo channels at 192 kHz. This calculation is quite unrealistic because it leaves out the control data and other bits necessary. With professional, low-latency interfaces such as the Mediface Pro and the Mediface USB, Rme proved that channel counts up to 140 channels are possible just with USB 2.0. The key
So check this out.
ingredient to this groundbreaking success are custom-developed Rme USB drivers that prove not only to be extremely efficient, but also very reliable. Professionals around the world use our USB interfaces every day in very critical environments. Even though, in the beginning, USB 2.0 was considered to be unreliable and not professional at all.
Yeah, I mean USB was the garbage ones, right? Everybody had the is it the M Audio Delta, or no, M Audio, is it M box maybe? It was very early on. We had these like M Audio boxes with USB. Line 6 had their interfaces with USB. I'm trying to even remember now, way back when, but there were a lot of them, I remember. They're like, yeah, it's fine for 2 channels maybe, of course the ubiquitous Focusrites and PreSonuses. And you're thinking, yeah, it's fine for 2 channels, maybe 4. And then, RME's got these 32 channel things. Behringer was, of all people, who does use the Desiccon drivers, had their X32, which supposedly could do 32 channels over USB. We did it. It's crazy to think that nowadays we're going to something that we were thinking, oh, we wouldn't want to use this back in like 2000 or whatever.
At all. Now, with all this knowledge gathered, it's quite clear why USB 2.0 from a technical standpoint is perfectly fine for most interfaces. But why was USB 2.0 so important for the industry, and why do we still believe in it? A long way to go. Because of the small data size and relatively low technical hurdles, broad digitization of the audio world started already in the early 90s, where transmission standards such as ADAT, MADI, AES, and SPDIF became very popular. Despite the early adoption of all these standards in RME products, a universal and trustworthy standard for transmitting the data to the computer was still missing. Sure, PCI was powerful enough to do high multi-channel recordings, but it was expensive and not very flexible. With the introduction...
And if you guys, if you do live in the laptop-only world, you can't put one of these cards inside your laptop. And used to be you could put like special FireWire cards so that you could plug into another interface, but you can't just take a PCIe card and shove it in your laptop. Maybe there's some new Thunderbolt way to put it in a chassis or something, but that's what it was.
Production of the Fireface 800 and Multiface 2 in the early 2000s, RME delivered a powerful yet portable solution for many musicians and studios. For the first time, professional multi-channel recordings were possible with a consumer-oriented transmission protocol. But FireWire was not supported by every computer manufacturer and soon became obsolete. Hence, a new, better supported and more universal standard was necessary. In 2009, RME released the Fireface UC and proved again that low latency and superb audio quality are independent from the chosen connector. Even today, USB 2.0 seems to be the perfect choice.
Here, let's listen to what he just said again.
It's even today and released the Fireface UC and proved again that low latency and superb audio quality are independent from the chosen connector.
So there's these, there's like Thunderbolt fanatics in the forums and stuff, and I'm sure there's out there somewhere there's PCI only or whatever, but like they just said, the low latency audio, it's not dependent on the cable that you're connecting it with. USB will work, FireWire would have worked, PCI works, Thunderbolt should work.
Even today, USB 2.0 seems to be the perfect choice. It's inexpensive, widely accepted, has enough bandwidth, and will be supported for years to come.
Oh, now they just jinxed us, so now Apple and Microsoft are going to get together and get rid of USB tomorrow, right? And actually, let's be realistic, Apple already has a silly two little itty-bitty ports on the MacBook Pro, so I don't know if can you plug this straight into there? You need some kind of adapter cable. I have that hub thing for mine.
Bigger doesn't always mean better. When people talk about the benefits of USB 3.0 or Thunderbolt, they believe that the bandwidth of these newer standards has an impact on the data travel speed and therefore results in lower latency. But in reality, the actual speed that the data travels at is still the same. The only thing that changes is the number of channels that can be transmitted at the same time. To put it this way, going from USB 2.0 to USB 3.0 is like driving on a motorway with more lanes, but the speed limit remains the same. There are more cars on the road, but they get to the destination just as quick as everyone else. That is why we implemented Thunderbolt and USB 3.0 only in the UFX Plus, an interface with over 180 audio channels. It is true, Thunderbolt has, in theory, some advantages due to direct memory access called DMA, which bypasses the CPU. but real-world benchmarks show that our USB 2.0 and 3.0 interfaces are just as capable as the UFX Plus with Thunderbolt. To conclude, no matter what RME interface you have, you'll always have a professional low-latency interface. Thank you for watching.
I didn't mean for that to be a commercial or anything, but yeah, I am an RME fanatic. But that said, we had that until very recently. We had those 2 Motus from 1998 running everything around here. So, Motu was capable of building some good stuff back then too. And I'm sure the new stuff is good too, but I think Desiccon makes their newer drivers. But anyways, that's it for me for this week. I'm going to try and do a lot more live streaming again. I kind of fell off of it for a while, and I'll try and be back on. And say hi to Tommy Gibbons. Go check out his channel. He was showing Easy Drummer as an actual artist would use it. So see you guys later.